So welcome everybody to the first official bowl of macaroni. I hope you are hungry today. So what I'll be talking today is a couple of different things that I've talked about in the past, but being the first official time of doing this, I'll go ahead and cover them again. So the first thing I'll mention is Windows Sandbox. If you're not familiar with this, it's a version of a virtual machine, and this might be the thing for you if you're not familiar with virtual machines. It's really an isolated, usable image of your Windows computer, but a clean copy of Windows, if you will. So to set it up, all you really need to do is search on your Windows PC for turn Windows features on or off. Then you go down to the bottom of that screen, you click the checkbox next to Windows Sandbox, you restart your system. Then you search for Windows Sandbox, you click it, done, right? Then you have your virtual machine of your Windows system loaded up and ready to use. Be aware when you completely close it, not minimize it, the sandbox or virtual machine will effectively be destroyed, or it basically starts fresh and clean the next time you load it, right? Then it is also great so this is great for testing out changes to what you want to do with your computer, such as trying new applications or things to your actual system that you think might have an impact. I don't recommend using it to test malware or potentially malicious items unless you know what you're doing with that. I do have a short video of that because it really is that easy. It took me about 60 seconds to set it up, and I'll share that after I'm done speaking, if that's okay. The next thing is what I want to talk about is 2FA. So if you're familiar with 2FA, that is two-factor authentication. It means to have an additional way to authenticate logging into something along with your password. So I log into Twitter with my username and password, then I have a second factor authentication that I have to authenticate to log in. You might be familiar with Google Authenticator. A lot of people use that, and I think it is a great option. However, it's a software option. What I want to talk about is UBKey. So UBKey is something made by UBKey. It's a physical device similar to the software option like Google Authenticator. With UBKey, it's arguably more secure because it is physical, though both options are good options. So with UBKey, you can use it to enable two-factor authentication on websites that you visit, but you can also use it for logging onto your system, like your Windows PC or your Linux system. You can also use it for SSH on Windows or Linux and many other things. So UBKey also has a variety of devices. Some of them are just a security key themselves. Some of them, like the UBKey 5C, support something called OTP or TOTP. That's one-time passcodes or time-based one-time passcodes. That's exactly how Google Authenticator works, right? So I'm trying to relate this for you so it doesn't sound that complicated, because it's really not. I do have a much more in-depth video on this that I can also share if that's okay with the team after I get done speaking. It walks through explaining the different options for you with UBKey, what they mean, and then a quick demo of setting it up through the security key as well as one-time passcodes using a demo Twitter account that I've created. The third thing I'll close up with is that you get a lot of scam messages through social media, through email, through all sorts of different social interaction tools like Discord or Twitter or whatever you're using. Scammers and bad actors will attempt to scam you. So there are a lot of tools and different things you can use that in succeeding calls like this. I'll go over and walk you through to help aid you in the quest of being safer. However, I just wanted to talk about a thought process really quick that I constantly use. And I'll use this Discord thing as an option. So you might get a message from somebody that says, "Hi, how are you?" You know, I got something like that this morning. So the first thing I did is I noticed that they just joined Discord 5 days ago. The next thing I did was I noticed that they only shared one server with me, being Indigo. The next thing is that I searched for them in the Indigo chat and noticed they have never said anything. Finally, what I noticed is all they did was start off by saying, "Hi, how are you?" They didn't choose to introduce themselves or anything like that to make me feel comfortable with speaking with them, right? Now, this doesn't just happen on Discord, it happens on everything. But the thought process that I want to relay is, before you click a link, before you do something on a website, before you interact with somebody on any platform, whether it's online, social media, or even real life, stop and think about things that you might want to correlate, that you either build up confidence that you trust this thing or lose confidence and decide you do not trust whatever this thing is. And that will really greatly help you in being more safe and avoiding potential scams. It's very easy to disable things like disable chat or ignore chat and things like that. But I think it's just as important as having that right thought process, because I think that'll help you in the long term. So that's your bowl of macaroni, and thanks for letting me speak.